Welcome to the Summer Step Up Challenge, where we are going to up your empowered eating game so you can take better care of your body this summer and feel awesome doing it. This is a 3-day challenge right here on the show, with 3 episodes dropping full of juicy homework and actionable takeaways. And my brand new course, The Empowered Eating Method, is on sale. You can save $100, sister, on this 12-week program that will teach you how to eat intuitively and reach your goal without obsessing over food. The sale only lasts through Sunday, so snag that offer by heading over to jessbrownrd.com, click on courses, and enter summer at checkout. Here's the best news. All who purchase now not only save that $100, but you will be invited to a special one-time live kickoff meeting with me to cheer you on and answer any questions. All right, let's step up your empowered eating game as we get ready for summer. Welcome to the Fuel Her Awesome show, my friend. I'm your host, Jess. I'm so excited you're here for day 2 of the Summer Step Up Challenge. Now, inside each of these mini episodes, we're doing 2 things. One, we are shifting some perspective because we all know the health game, working on ourselves, taking better care of ourselves, it starts with the mindset. So there's some shift in perspective and tactical tips that we can start doing with our food and fitness. A little work on our brain and then some work for our body. I'm so excited you are here. Yesterday, we actually talked about meeting our healthiest self, and it was an awesome feeling. That readiness that you found yesterday, that openness, we need to take that because walking into today, that is what is going to help you maximize the use of this episode. For today, we are talking about 3 ways to make this summer your strongest, and I'm talking mental and physical strength here, your strongest summer ever. So this episode is going to be for you if you're ready to up that mental strength training game, that physical strength training game, because I have to hit on both. You're ready to be able to do things like, not get tempted by diet culture stuff anymore. You're sick of the narrative going on in your head. You're ready to rewrite it for good and quit going back to some of those old thoughts that you just know aren't serving you. And then some of the physical stuff, you want to be able to lift the bag of dog food on your own when you go to Costco, and put it in the car without asking for help. You don't want to throw out your back doing it. You want to be able to feel strong when you hike, feel empowered when you hike, and you're also done with feeling overwhelmed and how to make this happen. So if that's you, I'm going to set you up with some tactical tips that you can start doing today to set you up for the strongest summer ever. But before we dive in, I just want to give you guys a little bit of background here. So my story in 30 seconds or less is this. I was an athlete. I love taking care of my body. So I started looking at how I could eat healthier. I was given a lot of 90s diet culture information that led me to doing some wonky things with my food, Special K diets, protein bars for lunch, skipping meals, all the things. Combine that with some life events, some insecurity, and bam, I landed an eating disorder without even knowing it. Struggled with that for a few years, wanted to know more about nutrition, so entered recovery and school to learn about how to become a dietitian. And like most people, right, we go into fields where we're trying to fix ourselves, so ended up getting a second bachelor's degree in nutrition and then on to get my master's degree and become a registered dietitian, which brings me to you here today. But throughout that journey, I went from this place of caring about my health to over caring about my health and orthorexia. And then it turned into an eating disorder. And then I recovered from the eating disorder and found myself in this weird space of okay, but now what? I don't want to go back to all the crazy stuff I was doing. I'm definitely not going to go back to obsessing about food, but I just know I could feel better. I'm ready to have more energy. And this specifically took hold after I had my first son because kids are a lot of energy and I was having to do all the things and I was tired. And then let's be real, we're all getting older. I'm almost 40. It's awesome. I'm so excited about it, but it definitely comes with some slowdown, right? And I wanted to learn how to take better care of my health, not just so I could feel better in my body, but so I could actually start aging well. So you kind of put all that together and it left me in this space of how do I go back to some of these health intentions and taking better care of my health and my body and my physical well-being without going back to the 90s diet culture stuff. And I'm just an all or nothing thinker, so it was really hard for me to get to this space. But you combine that with my education in nutrition and the Empowered Eating Method was born. And this is something that I have put together for you guys. I am so excited to roll out the Empowered Eating Method. What I found is that when I work with clients one-on-one, I'm actually saying the same thing over and over and over again, except when it comes to writing nutrition prescriptions and meal plans. So what I've done is put the empowered eating method together in a 12-step process where it walks you through the steps and then kept the individualized piece so that when you get to the part where we talk about fuel plans, we kept that individualized, but you can go through that on your own at your own pace. And that is all ready for you guys. And I'm actually putting it on sale during this challenge. So if you want to snag that and you're thinking like, I get that, Jess. I'm getting older too. I mean, we all are, but I want to feel better as I get older, and I want to age gracefully and be able to be there with my kids and my friends and my family. And I don't want to be getting out of bed feeling like my back hurts every morning, which was me for a while. I needed to reconstruct my relationship with food so I could take better care of my body. The empowered eating method is $100 off. You have to enter summer at checkout, and you can find that over at jessbrownrd.com. Click on courses. You will see all the information there, and you can learn a little bit more about it to see if it is right for you. All right, so let's scratch some of the surface of this empowered eating model here today, though, talking about how we can build our own strength training from a mental standpoint and a physical standpoint. So I have 3 things today. I'm going to list them out for you right here so you can hang with me the next 10 minutes or so as I cover them, because I'm going to cover them quickly. Number 1 is creatine. Number 2, and before you run from creatine, just hear me out. It's actually really amazing. I'm not going to turn any of you into Arnold Schwarzenegger, I promise. Number 1 is creatine. Number 2 is avoiding something I called ant traps or automatic negative thoughts. And number 3 is lifting weights. So let's unpack these really quickly here because I know you guys got lots to do today. Let's talk about creatine. Now, creatine is a supplement that, if you're like me, is associated with high school boys who want to bulk up. And you've heard things like it causes water loading, it makes you feel bloated, all of these things. So let's get one thing straight here. When we look at the research and what happens when people start taking creatine, that water loading and fluid shift happens when you start doing the mega dosing, which is taking like large sums initially and then coming down to like a more maintenance dose. And this is actually how we used to recommend creatine supplementation. We used to recommend this loading period, but now, and specifically for women, what we know is we don't get the water loading or the fluid shifts when we just start with a maintenance dose, and we can get some of the benefits. So here are the benefits, because I think they're going to surprise you. Creatine is just a naturally occurring substance in your muscle cells, and it's specifically used to help produce energy at high intensity or like heavier lifting circumstances. It's like that immediate energy reaction. That's when we're doing things like, jumping or like doing a power deadlift or a power clean, those like boom reactions are when the body taps into our creatine storage. What is super cool is that there is a growing body of research showing that creatine supplementation can actually increase strength and power. We knew that, but specifically athletic performance in females. Here's the really cool thing. It also may be good for our brain health and even our mood. Now, as a mama who's working, probably not getting enough sleep, and trying to keep up with everything, I want to know anything and everything about brain health because, I was talking to my friend the other day who's pregnant, and she's like, sorry, I have pregnancy brain. And I'm going, I do too, except, I'm 6 years postpartum and I still have pregnancy brain. So I'm interested in anything that helps with brain health and my mood. Because let's be honest, I got some mood swings that y'all don't see here on the show, but they happen for sure behind the scenes. And what we're finding is that creatine can actually help minimize some of those swings that we feel. There's even a recent study showing that using creatine, just daily 5-gram supplementation, can actually help postmenopausal women prevent hip fractures. I mean, it's really, really amazing what we're seeing in the research on creatine. So here's how it works. Your body stashes creatine in your muscles in a form called creatine phosphate or phosphocreatine. When you need to generate extra force in like a lifting activity or a high intensity sprint, your body actually splits that phosphocreatine molecule and pulls the creatine off of it, generating something called ATP. Do you guys remember this from like basic biology? ATP was the little molecule we learned about that had like the, I'm trying to describe it. I'm drawing it in the air. It looked like a POW symbol in the comics. It was like this little burst bubble. And what that was is our energy. It was our energy trigger within our body. So in other words, creatine is like a really fast zap to give you that energy. In terms of performance, phosphocreatine actually buffers some of the hydrogen ions that can accumulate during those high intensity exercise. This is that burn you feel. You know, when you're like pushing like a set and all of a sudden you feel that burn, that's the hydrogen ions building up, and phosphocreatine can actually buffer some of that. And then on the mental health side, there was a study published in 2001 called Creatine Supplementation in Women's Health, a Lifespan Perspective. And they reported that creatine might have positive effects on mood and cognition, and maybe even effective for supporting female brain health. The review also looked at depression and indicated that women with a major depressive disorder who added 5 grams of creatine, so this is a maintenance dose of creatine, to their daily antidepressant responded twice as fast and experienced remission of depression at twice the rate of women who just took the antidepressant. What? That's so cool, right? So there's some really interesting information out there on creatine. The reality is women naturally have about 70 to 80% lower creatine stores than men, but we can up that and we can increase our reserves by 20% by adding a maintenance dose recommendation. So if you guys are interested in that, you can always message me. I'd be happy to send you my favorite ones. Okay, so number 2, moving right along. We're moving to the mental strength training side here. Avoiding what I call ANT traps. Now, ANT is an acronym for automatic negative thoughts. Part of moving away from negative thoughts is avoiding these ANT traps, these things that automatically go off in our head. In the Empowered Eating Method program, I actually share resources on the top 9 ant traps that will keep you stuck, how to recognize them, and what to do instead. But as for today, let's talk about one of the ant traps we run into. It's mind reading. We can get into this space where we think we know what everyone else is thinking, and we make these assumptions about what others think. Like we walk into a gym and we think everyone notices our insecurities as much as we do. We feel uncomfortable because maybe we've gained weight or lost some muscle or things have changed, and we think everyone notices those things as much as we do. Remind yourself, my friend, that you, one, are not a mind reader. You don't know what anyone else is thinking. And until you talk to another person, it's really difficult to be certain that they're thinking about you or your situation the same way you are. And in fact, if we look at that, it's really a waste of energy to assume you are a mind reader. So we're better off just looking at our own thoughts and keeping them within bounds that are productive, and pretending to be mind readers is not one of them. Okay, so we got creatine, stay away from mind reading, and number 3 is lifting weights. I get this question all the time, Jess. What does it really take to get stronger and more fit? Like, what is it that I actually need to be doing? As a female sister, I'm going to tell you right now, we need to lift something. And I don't care how much that is. I don't care if it's a jug of water, a milk jug filled with water that you're lifting on repeat, or you're throwing around weights at the gym. Lifting something that stimulates our muscles does a few things for us. It maximizes our bone health, which I am so here for that, because I see way too many women start developing osteoporosis at an early age. And then as they age, that can be really, really daunting. And I see way too many of us not do what we could do now to prevent that in this perimenopausal stage. So it maximizes our bone health. It helps to balance our hormones, improves our body image. There's actually research showing that women who lift weights have better body image regardless of what they weigh, boosts metabolism, and prevents injury. And that's just a small list on this. I think most women, at least it was like this for me, were intimidated by weightlifting. We've never done it. I grew up a runner. I was a soccer player. We never were in the gym. We just didn't do that. And I would think of like these gnarly women in CrossFit throwing super heavy weights around. And I was really intimidated walking into a gym for the first time, learning about weightlifting. But my friend, I need to tell you something. Every single woman who lifts weights, even when they're really, really heavy, guess what? She started somewhere. She started with the same PVC pipe that you're going to have to start with. Every single one of us at some point had to learn how to do it. So again, going back to the mind reading thing, like if you're thinking, okay, but this is intimidating, I don't want to, I get embarrassed. Again, when you walk into the gym, chances are no one is thinking about or even noticing that you're new. and definitely not to the extent that you are. And if for any reason they do notice, they are probably thinking something like, that's amazing, good for her. I remember my feeling, if you guys listen to my very first episode on this show, I talked about learning to weightlift, and I was like so pissed when the trainer handed me a PVC pipe because I'm competitive naturally, and I just didn't like it. I was embarrassed. My ego was super flared up because I was like, no, like give me the real thing, even though I had no idea how to do any of it. But anyways, I was so embarrassed, but I did it anyways, and I was so glad I did. And the reality was I looked around, nobody was thinking anything of me using the PVC pipe. And now when I see girls who are coming in and they're starting with the PVC pipe, all I think is like, one, I remember being there, and two, I'm so glad they were brave enough to walk in. I'm so glad, because this is about to change the way they feel in their body, and the health benefits are going to be incredible. Okay, so to recap, number one, let's try and think about creatine for both body and mental strength training. If you guys want more information on that, shoot me a message. I'll send you my favorite creatines, and we really don't need a lot. We just need a maintenance dose of 5 grams a day. Number two, avoid ant traps. Specifically, we talked about not being a mind reader. We aren't mind readers, so let's not waste energy doing it. And number three, for your physical vessel, how can you add in some sort of resistance training this summer? You're going to feel better. You're going to feel more empowered. And sometimes we just got to get over that initial hump when we're a little intimidated. But I know you can do it. I believe in you. I will see you right back here tomorrow, sister, for our final day of the Summer Step Up Challenge, where we're going to actually chat about nutrition hacks for expansive energy. These summer days are long. We need more energy to do all the things and have fun doing it. I'll meet you right here. Until then, cheers and happy eating. Gosh, I'm so glad you joined me today. If today encouraged you, would you take a minute and encourage me by leaving a review for the show? I read every single one of these reviews, and your words, they mean so much to me. This podcast is here to support you weekly, but it only scratches the surface. To learn more on how you can become an empowered eater, snag my free workshop, How to Eat Intuitively and Hit Your Goals Without Obsessing Over Food, at jessbrownrd.com. Don't forget to join me right here next Monday, where I cannot wait to fuel your awesome. Cheers, my sweet friend, and happy eating.